Hello, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Between Torp and Turret Podcast. My name is Mori, and today I'm here with Gita,
Hello.
Jesper,
Hello.
and Kaza.
Hello.
So, first of all, we have a new person who's never been here before today, and it's Gita. And he is someone that I hadn't known previously to 10 minutes ago, but I'm looking forward to this. So without further ado, we're gonna start right off with probably the biggest change that's been announced on Supertest, being the DD plating changes. Now I'll just go over what those changes are real quick. The solution that they're looking at for BBAP basically is that they're reducing the shoulder plating from 19 to 18 millimeters at tier 10. Now the idea is that Battleship AP won't be able to arm anymore, at least not with over the water pens, and it also will make it able for heavy cruiser AP to overpen DDs from all angles. So heavy cruisers rolls against DDs will be strengthened. And also Akizuki will be able to, and their sisters that are going to be introduced, are going to be able to pen DD armor without IFHE. Alright, so what is your opinion on that, Gita?
First of all, battleships definitely shouldn't be able to devastate DDs in one go, at least without changing ammo. So I support this change, especially because it amplifies the cruiser's role to counter DDs as well. I think it's a healthy change, and I did a bit of testing. All cruiser AP does, in fact, arm when the destroyer is angled. So it's going to be interesting to see how heavy cruisers can pretty much do what battleships did, but it's supposed to be their role anyway.
You mean all cruiser AP, even light cruisers like British cruisers?
Well, yeah, I haven't tested light cruisers since they are unable to overmatch the armor, but heavy cruisers can just punch through the armor all they want.
Okay. So, Jasper, I know you have a slightly differing opinion on that. Can you elaborate, please?
The thing is, it's just gonna shift the focus from main battery to secondary, which is I kind of don't like it because it takes less skill. But have you guys watched how it works armor? According to that video, it says that a battleship or an armor penetrating shell is only going to arm if the thickness of the armor penetrated is a sixth. So what this means is that if this is true, that means that this change is not going to affect Battleship AP at all. And it's just a nerf to do DDs in general.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And it also states that all AP shells arm when they hit the water. So all battleship AP pens are actually underwater pens. It's just that overwater battleship pens are actually pens that hit the water after hitting the DD.
That's an interesting mechanic. Does that really work that way?
Well, if you're going to trust the Regis official how it works armor, yes.
Okay. Because I have a couple more problems with this change actually. One of the main ones being this being a huge nerf to German DDs. You know, those 128mm shells where you could further previously absolutely rape gearings, for example, and pretty much all the other DDs, even if they were only slightly angled with AP, that's not going to be possible anymore at all. Because there's just going to be the very, very tiny, window where you can both pen and not bounce. Because there's... so basically the German DDs lose their advantage with AP against other DDs and are just basically reduced to fighting battleships and cruisers and stuff. So their role as cap contesters it's significantly lessened, because the only really good thing about German DDs gun-wise is their AP DPM, because their HE is just so pitiful. So that is a huge nerf.
Nah.
To be honest, there shouldn't be a big problem there, because in their dev blog, VG has already said they're looking for ways to not affect the German DDAP problem, not affect the German DDAP effectiveness. They're already looking for a way to tweak either the fuse or the pen values to not affect it.
Well, alright, that's gonna bring a whole nuke problem in there, so yeah. I'm not sure on that yet. I'm not sold.
Thing is that you can apply the same logic from how it works, because 19 millimeters is less than a sixth of the DD caliber.
Yeah, if it's slightly angled, it's enough though. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen that.
Mostly only gearing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah, but I have been able to reduce shimmers to nothing in really quick succession in Z46. So there is definitely a way to reliably pen them for a lot of damage. So,
yeah, but that's any destroyer.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
I'm not too sure it will change, but I can't really test it.
Yeah, exactly. We can't really test any of these reliably, really.
I also don't really like the change that heavy cruisers will be more effective, because they already are effective.
Yeah. Again, I think the what we talked about 2 days ago, Jesper, that this BBAP problem has been blown out of proportions a bit. Sure, it's a problem when a DD takes all of its damage in one single salvo from a battleship, but it's nothing that can be done reliably, or that can be not in a battle anyways. In training room, yeah, sure, maybe. But then, and also dispersion. At the ranges, where you could probably do that reliably at 13 kilometers, battleship dispersion is just not good enough to reliably hit a ship, or a destroyer at that, with that precision that would be required to do devastating damage.
Yeah, because most of the battleship AP pens actually come from DDs being dumb or lacking situational awareness.
Yeah.
And not seeing incoming fire that they have 8 seconds to dodge.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I must say that if we want to address this problem of survivability of DDs, I think if we reduce their armor, we're not helping them. We're actually making them take more damage, just because, as you already said, then now heavy cruisers will be able to BB pen DDs, and that will be reliable. Actually, that will actually be reliable.
Yeah, and whereas
and you
first
know
they
that
just had to shoot HE, they now can shoot AP, which is more effective.
Yes, which does more damage, and especially for things like Hindenburg, right? that thing is gonna be just so good against that.
And AP
Also,
is also less prone to no damage penetrations.
yeah, exactly. Oh, what the fuck? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, it's So basically, we're not addressing the survivability issue of DDs at all. We're making them take more damage because both A secondaries and B from cruisers. And cruisers have better accuracy. They have things like radar to spot the DDs reliably. They have hydro to defend themselves, right? They have way better dispersion, so they can actually pull off these shots reliably. They have better reload. So I feel like there is a big problem here for DD survivability if this is gonna be implemented. Yes. Any other thoughts that we haven't talked about yet? Alright. I guess we're just gonna have to see where Wargaming is taking this idea. Because, again, I wanna remind everyone, it says very clearly it is one of the solutions. Or
But it's
actually, it
not the
says one
solution.
of solutions. Like the was lost in translation
is.
somewhere.
The latest video of how it works contradicts this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can't really look into their heads, can we? So we will kind of have to see what is going to.
There are just many problems of things we don't know.
Yeah. We can't test it, right? Most of what we have is speculation. So we will have to wait and see, I guess.
We can do a bit of testing with lower tier DDs, but it isn't exactly reliable because the sizes really change. Tier
Yeah.
10 destroyers tend to be way bigger.
Yes. That's actually a good idea to just test the armor values. Yeah, but as you said, they're way thicker, right? For example, like gearing is legendary for that, right? How thick that thing is. So, yeah.
And because of the special 21 millimeter plate.
Yes. But also Z52 is very, very thick. So, for example, if you fight a Z52 in another Z52, your AP will almost always stick, simply because the destroyer is so thick.
Also Crossover.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll come to that in a bit. But next up, yes, we will definitely come to that. But the next thing I want to talk about is the Pan-Asian destroyers. Actually, their smoke generator consumable cooldown is increased. So we are for the standard equipment, we are now looking at 150 seconds, up from 120. So 30 seconds longer, which is quite a lot of time. And for premium, it's 20 seconds more. It's now 100, up from 80. What Wargaming says to this is currently destroyers show higher efficiency against cruisers thanks to the deep water torpedoes. At the same time, unique smoke screens allow them to easily fight for the cap areas with other destroyers. Cooldown increase will take away the opportunity to completely cover the ships in smoke or make them a little less multi-purpose. Now, this is a pretty hefty nerf. From 80 to 100 seconds is quite a lot of downtime, so now you're gonna spend 25 seconds between your smokes out of smoke completely, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
No, 30, I think, but whatever.
Yeah, it's quite a lot more though. So what are your opinions on that? Is it a good change? Is it needed?
Yes, Wargaming is kinda right about the overperforming against cruisers part, but honestly, I think smoke isn't the way to nerf these ships. Like maybe it might be might be a part of the solution, but those torps should definitely be nerfed because they're just happily one-shotting cruisers left, right, and center. Unless you hydra them, of course.
Mm.
I think the main...
I don't see how this smoke nerf is gonna make the efficiency against cruisers any different.
It won't. It just
With
will change their cap
and
cap contesting ability, which is
yeah,
one
but
of
it
their
also really
multi-purpose things.
doesn't, because their smoke downtime is still far lower than other destroyers.
Well, but they're but it's alright. It's not that they're gonna make them bad. It's just that they're make them worse.
Thing is that the downtime is 10 seconds right now, and its ability to fight unconcealed is amplified by the fact that it takes several seconds to render.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you first get spotted. So yeah, there you have that.
But that's a whole new kind of worms, right? Like that's a whole different problem.
Yes and no.
Problems are intertwined.
It is a different problem, but it doesn't make this situation any better.
No, most definitely not. That is true. So, what would you propose to do instead?
For starters, as I said, the Torp detectability needs to go up. No matter by how much, it should at least be a kilometer or 1.1 or something. They are just way too effective against anything they can target, which includes cruisers. And
I think the detectability is fine.
I think they should give classes innate vigilance. Like cruisers have innate vigilance to help against deep water torpedoes. Right?
How about we just nerf deep water torpedoes instead? Is that an idea?
Well, they're only stealthy and deal a lot of damage and annoying.
Yes.
They're basically
they do the same amount of damage as the normal torps.
Yeah, they're basically American torps. They just can't hit destroyers, but have way better stealth.
Yeah.
So the damage isn't exactly a problem, because no one complains about the American destroyer torps.
Yeah. The thing is, they are a good battleship counter, but unfortunately, as a side effect, also good against cruisers.
Yes, I see that. So, are you proposing that we make the deep water torpedoes like the ones of Asashio that can't hit cruisers?
No, that's awful.
Definitely not a way to fix the ships.
Yeah. I don't think either. But I just wanna steer this conversation back to what the original issue was. Do you think that making this smoke generator nerf is good, or is it actually bad?
It's probably good, but I don't think it really nerfs them a lot.
It is kind of a good thing, as in the way they're somewhat recognizing the problem that Pan-Asian destroyers are doing way too much. But this shouldn't be the way to rebalance them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
At least it's no longer a ridiculous difference between having premium smoke or not.
What?
Where with
It's 50 seconds.
Perma smoke. Yeah, but with premium smoke, you right now have almost perma smoke, and with non-premium you don't.
Yeah, you can take the downtime down to 2 seconds currently if
Mm.
you decide to go for it, which is a bit too absurd, I'll admit it.
Mm. Yeah, I understand that definitely. Yeah, any closing statements on this topic?
We'll see.
Deep water torpedoes are fake and gay. This is probably our closing statement. All right. Next up is the Gezau and gearing torpedo changes. So, as you might have heard, Zhao and gearing get more torpedo options, which is really, really interesting. Zhao gets the Zhao, who up to until now had only access to the F3 torpedoes, will now get the 12-kilometer ones called Type 93 Mod 3, which are also found on Shimakaze and will be found on some of the on Kitakaze and Haragumo, I guess.
And Yagamo.
And Jugomo as well, alright. So Zhao will get access to 12-kilometer torpedoes, which is kind of nice, but I just want to mention Gearing will get access to the Fletcher's torpedoes as well. Plus the ones she already has right now. So, yeah, what do you think about the new torpedo option for Zhao? Do you think that it will
Time
change
to
your
stop
play?
pushing as a baby man.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think Zhao is now an excellent destroyer.
Oh, yes. I'm so looking forward to this, honestly. I'm so looking forward to it. All
Yeah,
right.
there's little to no argument. This is just a straight up upgrade for the Zhao.
Yeah. The Zhao has gets down to 9.7 kilometer concealment, for those who don't know, and obviously right now with only the 8-kilometer range torpedoes, you can't use those offensively because they only go, the torpedo arcs are only backwards. So when you're running away from someone, you can torp them if they're very, very close to you, which should probably be never in a Zhao. So there's quite little opportunity to torp someone in the Zhao, to be quite honest with you. But with the 12-kilometer torps, you now have the ability to stealth torpedo. You can torpedo someone and he can't see you while you torpedo him, which is just so huge. And the difference in reload time doesn't make any difference either, because you're probably gonna use that once a game or something, and that's it. Like, the reload time literally doesn't make any difference. Yeah, it's absolutely huge. They do slightly less damage, I think, and are slightly less fast, but it's just so much more useful.
In fact,
they're
do
slower,
more
but they
damage.
deal more damage.
Oh my god, okay, sorry.
But they're slower.
Oh yeah, they are slower, definitely. Like, over 10 knots even. But still, this is just so much more useful.
The speed difference doesn't even make up for the fact that you gain so much more versatility. And the torps even do more damage, so
Like
even for YOLOing, they're stronger than the F3s.
The F3s deal 20k, I think, and the Type 93 Mod 3s 23k.
24 even, if you round up. So
yeah,
it is a lot of damage. On the other side, they also get spotted easier, so yeah.
No, they don't. The F3s are more detectable.
Yeah, but
it's
they're
just
slower.
The speed that makes a difference, but if at that point it doesn't really make a difference, to be honest.
Yeah.
No.
You're still going to eat them if you're broadside to them.
Yes. And next up is Gearing gets Fletcher's torpedoes. Everyone knows Fletcher's torpedoes, honestly, or if you don't, like, what are you doing with your life in warships, honestly? Fletcher is often called the best tier 10 torpedo boat, and pretty is pretty alright. You have good range, you have good damage, very good detectability, okay speed, and best of all, an amazing reload time of 106 seconds. So Gearing had a couple of problems. Her torpedoes were reached way further. I don't know about the damage, but they also reloaded way slower. So you couldn't go around and torpedo boat as much as Fletcher. So now Gearing with Fletcher torpedoes will be really, really, really strong, I think. Any more opinions on that?
At least people won't say that Fletcher is a better torpedo boat anymore.
Do you not think so?
The
I mean,
Torps
why
are...
would they? The Torp's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Torp option doesn't exactly affect anything but randoms, in my opinion, because you still want the more range for the versatility in most situations besides randoms, possibly.
But most
No,
people play randoms
Be
exclusively.
honest. The most games you play are in randoms.
Yes.
The Fletcher Torp's gonna be strong as cap or as a flank, kiting flank in competitive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not like they have no range, right? It's 10.6. It's quite far, I think. Certainly further than
It
F3
has to make it's gonna make the enemy team turn more or do more evasive maneuvers more often.
Yeah. Just because more reload, right? Like eventually someone will fuck up and then you'll have him.
But to be fair, I mean, Zhao is gonna feel that role.
With 12-kilometer torpedoes.
Yes.
Zhao is a better destroyer now.
I mean, it
And
is
you also have 10 torpedoes per side.
I mean, it has been played as a huge destroyer for ages, right? Like sitting in the back, kiting, long range, doing shit. It has no armor. It has no health either. It's very stealthy compared to everything, every other cruiser. So it's just a very, very oversized destroyer, in my opinion.
It actually has really good armor.
Yes, Zhao has very good armor.
Yeah, but not because it has good armor. It's just because it has very good armor scheme.
Well, if you angle properly, you can pretty much bounce any battleship shell.
Yeah, but Hermelin can bounce
can also
Yamato
do that
shells,
in
as
other
we
cruisers.
recently learned. So that doesn't really count.
No,
I'm
but-
sorry.
Wow.
But Hermelin can only do it on the belt. Zhao can do it on the
Yeah.
casement armored as well. You have to hit either the bow or the stern to actually overmatch Zhao's armor. I think the deck bounces it as well.
Or
Yeah.
you just shoot into the superstructure and hope that your shells bounce down, because that also happens.
Yes. That's a weird thing, but it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, shooting in Montana in the superstructure and getting a citadel, like, what? Weird. Happened to me 2 days ago for some reason, but it was kinda weird. Yeah. Do you think those ships are OP with the addition, or too good, or whatever?
Zhao possibly,
think-
but Gearing,
No.
no. Gearing is just going to get another option. It's not going to make the ship overpowered all of a sudden.
Well, it's going to have Fletcher torpedoes, which are really good, but like Fletcher didn't need the nerve, so that's fine. But I don't know why they didn't give Zhao just 10-kilometer torps.
Yeah, I think 12 kilometers is a bit overkill. It's time to stop pushing as a battleship, man.
And no one pushed as a battleship anyway. Like, what are you talking about?
The biggest threat,
If
biggest
battleships
threat.
are your argument, then you actually need 16-kilometer torpedoes, because those battleships will never go anywhere near you anyway.
But if they
Biggest
don't
threat
know
when you
you're
push a cap
there,
as a battleship is a Diddy when it comes to torps. But when you have a cruiser that can output more torpedoes than a DD, well,
You do need to completely turn around to fire your other 2 sets, though.
Yeah, but with 2 kilometers of time between that, it's fine. Honestly, I can turn around on that time. Especially
It's
as a
more
Zao.
about your
In the Moskva, I
position
couldn't.
if you're not going somewhere where you should go if you turn around at 180 degrees.
The thing is, you don't need to turn 180 to launch both torps. If you're sailing away, you just need to turn like 60 degrees or something, and you can launch both sets.
More.
Okay, more.
But yeah.
I don't have the exact values, but yeah, you don't need to do a complete 180.
And that's also only assuming that you're really going for the farthest back, which is an unlikely situation.
Yeah, but still, you can output an insane amount of torpedoes on any battleship chasing you, which basically guarantees that you're gonna get away from said battleship because he's gonna have to dodge.
Assuming you can torp right, yes.
Yes, but that's always kind of what is assumed, right? So.
It's still torpedoes.
Yeah, of course. Like there
It
is a
just needs
chance
to
that the
turn and
torpedo will just have a battleship-sized hole in them somewhere, right?
Yeah,
I'm
So-
waiting for all of the DDs in the start of the game. All of the 2-minute DD deaths. I am looking forward for that
What?
because of the 12 kilometers torpedo.
besides torpedoing DDs and caps.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes!
yes.
Ah, that's
DD
gonna be
kills.
amazing!
It's gonna be so wasting.
I'm looking forward to that too. But it's not gonna be at 2 minutes because the reload time is 164 seconds. It's gonna be
but
more
you
around
take
like 3
torpedo
minutes.
armament expertise and torpedo upgrade.
So you actually
Because you're
gonna
a
make
DD.
Zao a torpedo boat?
Yes.
Okay. See.
Besides the concealment, Zao will do better than Shima now.
Yes.
Actually, it might even the concealment might not even be a problem because unlike the Shima, you can actually fire back at things and have some armor.
Yeah. Sure.
And the heal, because why not?
Yes. A heal is pretty. That's quite important. I think. Yeah.
Also planes.
Oh yes, planes. You can spot torpedoes in advance. Yes. I mean, not that well anymore, unfortunately, but yeah. You have it.
I know
guess.
how it's annoying, right? But there's even less reason to take Haba over Sarah now.
Yes.
Even if you can get Citadel in the south.
Yeah. Oh, but we are gonna have to do 5 Kaba plus battleship anyways, like 6 Kaba plus
It will
battleship.
now be 5 sounds plus battleship.
Yes.
That sounds really evil, honestly. Like the amount of firepower that brings, holy crap.
It's only
Holy
an
crap.
off strike now.
Yeah.
Do you think
Also,
the
you will
competitive
permanently
lineup,
fire.
the competitive lineup's gonna change from heavy Hindenburgs to heavy South?
Yeah. Actually, let's just talk about that right now. Hindenburg and Rune get a reload nerf. 1 second from 10 to 11 seconds. Which, yeah, do you think that was called for? That's a good nerf, or is that too much, or too little? I don't know.
For Hindenburg, probably. Rome, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, but they both have the same guns, so
Yeah, I guess.
if you have to if you nerf one,
Tight and things.
you have to nerf the other as well.
You don't have to, but that's
No,
how
you don't
Wargaming
have
does
to,
things.
exactly. Friedrich has a 28-second reload, Kurfürst has a 29 seconds. Because Kurfürst was apparently too much.
Also, Atlanta DD guns doesn't have the reload of the DD guns.
Yeah, but all of those examples kind of make sense because
Why
Atlanta
wouldn't it
is a
make sense
cruiser again,
for Ronan
and
Hindenburg?
no, Rune and First of all, Friedrich has double turrets, and GK has triples. So
But
those
they have
are
the same guns.
no, they are not the same guns. Because they have the same guns, but they don't have the same turrets, layouts, and stuff. So that absolutely makes sense for them to have different rates for reload. But Rune and Hindenburg literally have exactly the same packages of guns plus turret layout. So it doesn't make sense at all to have Hindenburg, the tier 10 cruiser, reload slower than the Rune, the tier 9 cruiser. Then again, that is like logic, and this is a game, so
I mean, the fact that battleships can hit things is not realistic. So
yes, I see where you're coming from. Okay. Oh my god.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of a fine nerf, honestly. It's not too big. It's just
Yeah, it's not a major nerf, but Hindenburg definitely needed some tweaking.
yeah.
And I think this is a good one. It
Yeah,
doesn't
me
affect
too.
the playstyle, but it nerfs slightly.
Yep, I think so too. Yeah, it's a very minor nerf, and it's nothing too big of a deal, while still retaining while still doing some significant damage to like things like DPM comparisons to like Zao and stuff. So yeah,
Zao will still have worse DPM.
yes,
No,
but
Zao will have better HE DPM now.
yeah.
They were pretty much equal, but Zao is now slightly above.
Oh wow, Zao finally has it back what it was supposed to have. Good HE
Yeah.
compared to other nations.
Well, it always retained the amazing Sigma and dispersion, and the amazing Alpha Strike, while Hindenburg was very much reliant on DPM. But again, Hindenburg takes reload, and Zao doesn't, so Hindenburg again has more HE DPM. So yeah, doesn't change in that front at all.
Also, Hindenburg has better HE pen because of reasons.
Yeah,
because they wanted to give the tier 6, 5, and 6, and 7 probably better HE pen or something. They just gave everyone up to the Hindenburg better HE pen for no reason.
Yeah, to be honest, Rune and Hindenburg didn't really need that. They were doing fine, but now they're just doing they're overperforming a bit. After that change.
In the HE department, yes.
Yes, definitely.
I remember when Hindenburg was by far the worst tier 10 cruiser. I didn't have it back then, but I heard tales.
Of people being bad?
I don't remember those times.
Okay. Well, alright. Anyways, this is what they have chosen to do, and I think it's probably fair. With the new update, with the new upgrade, special upgrades. Actually, let me just make a point to talk about that. 1 second. Okay. Alright, we're gonna talk about that after the news stuff. Now, I just wanna mention that we have gotten that Haida has been confirmed already, and that it's gonna go up to tier 8 for some reason. Gets a bit.
The Cossack is going.
Yes, Cossack.
Cossack.
It's staying at tier 7.
Sorry.
Because Cossack has the 8-gun layout and Haida has the 6-gun layout.
Yeah. So they're changing those up a bit. I don't feel like we can really talk about that a lot, because there's not that much we know. Honestly, I haven't even seen a video on Haida or Cossack in the new form.
Or Cossack might just be some sort of British Akizuki.
which would be
But-
fine.
Haida doesn't get Loyang bullshit levels of Hydro. What is
And that's
this?
a good thing, because nobody should have
bad
bullshit levels of Hydro.
thing. It's inconsistent.
No, because Loyang is a Taiwanese ship and not British or Canadian.
I see.
Yeah, I'm really interested in to see when they're gonna nerf the Loyang. I hope it's soon, because that thing is just bullshit up to the roof. Having the best DD Hydro in the game except for Z52 is just retarded.
And that with US smokes.
Yes.
She does
So you
only
can
have
basically-
4 guns, though.
Yeah, but you
And
can
the
just sit
lowest-
in a smoke for 2
lowest
minutes
HP.
and nothing can come close to the cap.
Mm.
Also US detectability, because Z52 suffers from bad detection range. Loyang very much doesn't. So that's also slightly bullshit in my opinion. It has bad torpedoes, okay, I'll give you that. But still.
But it's Benson torpedoes.
Yeah, bad torpedoes, as I said.
They're decent.
No, they're weaker than Benson torpedoes. They have less damage.
Mm,
They're still
alright.
decent, though.
so I hope that Haida and Cossack are gonna be significantly different enough to make 2 of them instead of just 1. Like with Hipper and
Well, the
Eugen.
fact that
just...
one has an extra turret
Yeah,
instead of a secondary gun is
Yeah.
probably enough to differentiate it.
and one has
Yeah.
Hydro, I might add.
Yeah.
So I think this is a step in both the right direction to make them more balanced and more interesting on both sides. So I'm looking forward to this. Because I know people have been Canadian players have been screaming for Haida for such a long time. So I'm glad to see that they finally gotten their wish. And last but not least actually not last, because we're gonna talk about special upgrades later, but the hottest topic of the day is undeniably Grozavoy receiving radar on the dev block. So the reasoning behind this is, for Wargaming, Grozavoy is by far the least played tier 10 DD. Which is definitely true. But on the other hand, Grozavoy has like 50.44% win rate. So it has a better win rate as stuff like Midway or Hakurio. And Yamato as well, and a couple other battleships. But it has an above average win rate. Just slightly, but it is there. And they still think that giving Grozavoy radar is the right choice.
Yeah, because Wargaming, for some reason, thinks that radar doesn't influence the game that much.
It doesn't.
It does. And also,
Sarcasm.
yeah. But, like, being unpopular doesn't mean that it needs something that needs a buff. Like, this is straight up buff. It's not even instead of smoke or instead of speed boost. It's straight up just an extra consumable slot, radar, on top of it, no compromises, and it's not even underperforming. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Underperforming. Wow. I think it was demotivating getting out DPM'd by Shimakazus because of because their hit ratio is so much better than mine.
What?
You see, the problem with the Grozavoy when it faces other DDs is that because of its huge size, it takes much more damage in return. And the Shima is very small, right? And thin. That means that because of your bad dispersion, If you're not lucky enough, you're gonna get out DPM by Kaza that knows how to play.
But from what I hear, Grozavoy has very good guns.
She does, but that doesn't mean you can hit destroyers as much as all the destroyers can hit you.
I mean, I've read these Grozavoy OP things. Yes, they talk about not being able to be doing knife fights, but none of them really talks about hit ratio against other destroyers than hit ratio against you.
Yeah.
'Cause you take so many more hits than the opposing destroyer when you're fighting them, unless they're going broadside.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So if they really wanted to make Grozavoy a DD hunter, they should just buff dispersion so we can reliably hit other destroyers. Instead of having this very fun radar.
The original plan wasn't exactly making Grozavoy a DD hunter to begin with. They're trying to change the ship's playstyle, even though she doesn't really need it. Grozavoy was supposed to be an AA support destroyer, but they deemed it was too much apparently, so they nerfed the AA values. And then Grozavoy was kinda left in the middle, just unable to do anything unique.
Yeah, it's not a very good DD hunter, honestly. Z52 is way better because it has better concealment, honestly. And it has Hydro, right? And it can hit shit. And it can still torp stuff up, like, extremely well. And Grozavoy just can't do that. It has shit torpedoes. Pretty shit torpedoes, honestly. It's spotted from the moon.
Greatest, but they're also not awful.
No, but they're worse than German torpedoes, honestly.
The main problem with Grozavoy currently lies in the maneuverability, in my opinion. She's just way too sluggish.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I also think that Grozavoy just doesn't have anything special going for her. She's just as sluggish as Kaba, but she doesn't have the armor nor the speed of Kaba. She also doesn't have access to healing like Kaba does. So she only has smoke. She has good AA, I'll give her that. And she has better torps than Kappa. But that doesn't make up for the difference in speed
and access to defensive
and armor.
fire. She also has access to defensive fire.
Yeah, that's what I meant with good AA.
Well,
it's
her
very
AA
good
is already better than Rama, I think.
Yes. But still. I also think that the win rate is inflated, because the only time most people play Grozavoy is when they're in an AA division with Midway or Hakuryu or something. And if you give up with Midway in a Grozavoy, you probably know what you're doing. And the person that you're playing with in Midway probably also knows what he's doing. So you're gonna have above average win rates. Yeah, it's just my take on that win rate. I think it's inflated. It's not telling us the whole picture. Again, also, it's a small sample size because there's not many people playing it. But
yes, which is, according to Wargaming, the problem why they justify giving it radar.
Yes.
And that's just not good.
Well, okay, let's...
Bad game design.
Yes, what I think will happen if we give Grozavoy radar. What will happen is Grozavoy gets spotted, she pops radar. Now, the thing is, this radar is... so, there's a DD coming towards the Grozavoy, at least at the beginning, right? It's not gonna be running away from the Grozavoy because he doesn't know that the Grozavoy is there yet, because the Grozavoy hasn't been spotted. So, the enemy Shima, let's say, finds the Groza Boy and they're both charging at each other. So in that time that it takes the Shima to turn around, the Groza Boy can get into the Shima's detection range, and even after the even after the radar is down, the Groza Boy will be able to keep the Shima spotted and just hunt it down relentlessly and kill it.
The thing with radar is not especially that the thing that's radaring.
Yeah, the problem
right.
isn't exactly the radar.
You get spotted, even though you were playing actually just really well by not getting spotted. But you get radared, so you're spotted without misplaying really, because you don't know that the Groza is there. And then there are also other ships that can shoot you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I tried to say. You're gonna get hunted down by the Groza, and there's basically nothing you can do once you blunder into that radar range, because the Groza is faster.
It's actually the support ships and not the Groza.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I said, if the Shima can't get once the Groza radars him, he's not gonna get unspotted ever. Because the Groza will.
Shima is faster than Groza, so no.
No.
Well,
Groza is faster by 1 knot, but yeah. Well, speed boost can play a role in that, I guess, because Groza is most likely gonna run defensive AA.
Yeah, and again, but again, the time it takes for the Shima to turn around is enough for the Groza to close the distance sufficiently. If both come head on, which is probably what's gonna happen.
And then you roll the dice to not take torpedoes.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think there's just so many problems with that, and because Wargaming saw that they actually made a statement discussing that. And she says among tier 10, and they say among tier 10 destroyers, she has the lowest win rate and worst combat effectiveness numbers. So they cite the low win rate. And, I think that's just so bad, because they say it's a low win rate, but it's still 50%. It is 50%. It's completely average. It's not like it's suffering from any particularly bad stuff. Take a look at Midway. Take a look at Hercurio. They're way below 50%. Take a look at like Kronstadt, which has 56% or something. Take a look at Belfast, which has 56% win rate as well. Hell, even Musashi has 57 or something, 55. I'm not sure anymore. But no one is talking about those. Or Essex actually has 45% win rate or something. It's really bad. Let me just look that up right now.
Give Essex radar.
Yeah.
I'm sure that will fix it.
I mean, no, I'm just saying, why not fix other ships that have really low win rate? Why look at the Groza of all things? And why give it radar of all the things? Its win rate is kind of fine, honestly. And it's just, there's so many other ships that deserve buffs as well. Can't we do something about those, please? Essex. Hello there. Yep, 47% win rate versus the Taiho with 52. Nice. Just amazing.
Carrier win rate balancing is probably much more different than destroyers. Because there's only 2 nations in carriers.
Yeah. Oh, Kronstadt actually 59% win rate. Easy peasy.
Yeah, but that's a side effect of low sample size. Or small sample
Alright,
size.
let's talk about something that doesn't have a small sample size. Giulio Cesare. 677,000 battles played, which is definitely not a small sample size, I might add. 58% win rate. And they're selling that thing right now.
No.
They have sold it during the last couple of days, though. So, yeah, how about don't sell that thing anymore, please? Thank you. Next up, Jungmu, 250,000 battles, 56% win rate. But I mean, it is getting nerfed with the Pen Nation smoke thing, so I guess that's fine.
Yeah, no, just play
Nope.
Radar Chingmu.
Yes.
It's not even the thing that affects that win rate all that much. It's just the Torps.
It has Fletcher Torps with better concealment.
Yep. You still
that's
have
the
that
problem.
amazing reload, but the Torps are basically undodgeable now.
I see what you mean.
And Fletcher already didn't have problems hitting torpedoes and things. So
Yeah, what I'm just trying to say is there's a lot of ships that have way above average win rates. They should be nerfed, and there's also a lot of ships that have way below average win rates. It should maybe be buffed. So yeah. Midway, for example, 46.5% win rate. Maybe do something about that. Midway, Ranger, Lexington, Essex, all of those.
I think they're just waiting for the carrier rework at this point before doing anything.
Yes, and I understand that, honestly. I really understand that. Because, I mean, if the if the carrier rework is gonna happen, why balance carriers before that anyways? But at the end of last year, we got the American carrier rework. So I'm not sure if that argument applies anymore, to be quite honest with you.
nah, it's fine this way. But things like smoke and radar at the same time, that's a problem.
Yes,
Definitely.
smoke and radar is most definitely a problem.
And ships that have that are performing way too well.
Yes. See also Belfast Black. Black kinda...
Black is kind of a like select group of people.
Yes. But Belfast very much isn't. And that thing is just so broken.